Here. Yuko tentatively slides our drinks onto the table, her presence oddly small. As she walks back to the counter after a quick, polite nod, I realize the air between me and Lily is thick and our expressions are both somewhat pensive. Even though she says I should lead my own life, she still interferes at the worst times. I don't think you should blame Akira here. She's just looking out for you, and it's not like I can't understand her concern over this. Lily's irritation gives way to an awkward and largely unsuccessful attempt to mask her feelings. She really doesn't deal well with being cornered on personal topics. I know, but I just wanted some more time. I knew you'd have figured it out eventually, but you were intentionally hiding this from me? For how long were you planning to do so? Ooh. As I said, I simply wanted more time to think it through. I wanted to be sure of my decision before telling you. What did you decide to do, in the end? I know what I want her to say, but an awful feeling refuses to leave my gut. My family does dearly want me to return to them, and Akira will be going as well. I could still teach as a career, whether it be here or there. So, you're going? How long have you known? I already know you were asked when you first went to Scotland about a month ago. Some time. My frustration very nearly boils over. The fact that she's done this affects me more than it should. For her to not only be leaving, but to have been actively hiding her own plans from me, and after seeming for so long to be one solid pillar of support and reliability I could depend on. It feels as if the foundation underneath me is suddenly shifting drastically, much faster than I can adapt to. Perhaps this isn't so much frustration as sheer unease. Lily, I'm sorry, I wanted to think this through completely. I wasn't trying to take advantage of you, please. I know, Lily, I know. This is just really sudden. I guess this means that once you go, we'll be breaking up? For one of the few times I've seen since I met her, she's genuinely lost for words. She doesn't look surprised, no doubt because the fact had dawned on her once she became sure of her decision, but rather she appears genuinely unsure of how to deal with the situation now that it's in front of her. We could try pursuing a long-distance relationship. They're getting more and more common these days, after all. Even as she says it, the tone in her voice gives away that she doesn't truly believe what she's saying. Lily is far too old-fashioned to be able to cope with a relationship without any kind of physical presence, and even I am, to an extent. All we would ever be to each other would be a voice from the other side of the world. In the end, trying to rationalize everything is futile. Any attempts to try and connect that's what's happening with the future or past just seems to get more difficult the more I concentrate. Those quiet moments when we just walked side by side, the precious time we spent with Hanako and Akira, the casual chatter we had during lunch times, the times we made love, the confessions of our feelings to each other, all pointless, all just fleeting moments in our young lives. We're just two children pretending to be adults, aren't we? A long, long silence hangs in the air between us. The noise of the other patrons drinking and talking only makes the situation feel more strange and disconnected. Lily's face remains low, her dejected expression clouding it. I'm sorry, Hisao. A simple apology, no more. She's left entirely without any further response or comment. With a long sigh, I gather what's left of my thoughts and ask the final question I have for her. When will you be going? I'll be leaving with Akira, so it'll be little less than a week. The beginning of summer holidays? Just a little afterward, yes. Her tone is unusually slow and steady, her apologetic and depressed mood all the more written to her face, as she tries to hide it in her voice. In the end, I can't even keep my promise of going to Tanabata with her before she leaves. I look down, seeing my face reflected in the now lukewarm cup of neglected tea sitting in front of me. I really thought I'd left this kind of expression behind. For a while I just stared down at the still surface, trying to sort through my emotions to get at what course of action I should take, whether it be right now or in the future. But just as before, the effort is wasted. I glance up to see Lily gently sipping her cooled tea without complaint. Her face drawn and shoulders slumped. She looks to be as deep in thought to be deep in thought too. A strangely cold atmosphere coming between us as we isolate ourselves to mull things over. Even as Lily's cup slowly empties, mine remains untouched. It's a long time before I notice the rain dying down outside and the few other patrons of Shanghai having left. And I'll be right back. Alright, back. I restocked what I was drinking, and here's the bathroom and such, and yeah. Now I'm drinking Sunday instead of water, but yeah. The chill of the rapidly darkening evening permeates the dormitory hallways. While trudging down the corridor to my room, I see an unwelcome movement from up ahead. Oh no. Sure enough, the opening of the door opposite mine heralds the arrival of a spectacled Kenji. Hey man, what's... Whoa, dude, you look awful, I think. You okay? He really has a knack for making any situation better. I don't really want to go into it. It's late. Okay, that's cool. If you want to talk about it, I'm, here. I look at him for a moment before surrendering my stern front and awkwardly scratching the back of my neck, embarrassed by my standoffish response to him. Thanks, Kenji. Hey, it's cool. That's what friends are for, right? Yeah, you're right. See ya. Hey, that was another moment where Kenji was kind of cool, I guess, although talking to him would probably be horrible. Probably end horrible. Maybe not. There's been discussions with Kenji where, he opened up and, he talked about almost having a girlfriend, and I could see him and Rin dating, because he's the blind artist, I think, from the other playthroughs. I open the door to my own dorm room and close it behind me as he quickly waves me off. The solid thud of the door makes against the door frame sounds out a final call for the life I've led since coming to Yamaku. I just stand in my darkened room, fruitlessly attempting to work out what I should do from this point onwards. Just what should I do? As class ends, I simply rest my head on my hand and stare out the window to pass the time. It's been a few days since Lily told me her plans. I haven't been to our ordinary lunchtime haunt since then, not that there would be much point. Hanako's been busy with the newspaper clubs she's newly joined, and even begun talking in the class with Naomi every now and then. Even Lily, aside from the fact that a meeting between us would have been awkward in any case, has been run off her feet with class representative duties as the summer holidays approach. And now, they're just about here. With the end of today's bell, the summer holidays will have begun. I suppose that's all I'll end up doing will be visiting my parents for the duration, and lazing around my old home, now that my previous plans are entirely askew. Meanwhile, Akira and Lily will be en route to Scotland to live out the rest of their lives there. No matter how hard I try to rationalize the idea that once the summer holidays begin, my life will return to the way it was, it simply refuses to happen. Everyone's moving on with their lives. Lily's rejoining her family, Akira's moving up in her father's business, Hanako's getting new friends and hobbies, and even Yuko's moving ahead with her university aspirations. Even I'm moving forward in the end. With the marks I've gotten so far in Yamaku, much less after such a rocky beginning, the path to get into teaching science as a career seems straightforward. I suppose I should at least be happy about that much, but it doesn't really seem to help. Hey Chan, I quickly stopped my ruminating and turned to face the bubbly voice beside me, putting on the most upbeat expression I can muster. As expected, Shizune stands flanking her. I have a sneaking suspicion they want something from me. Hey Misha, Shizune, what's up? Well, Chan and I were thinking, since we're just two poor little girls that need help with all the work we've been given just before the holidays begin, sure, I can help. But hey Chan, we're really... What? I think I broke Misha. Even Shizune raises an eyebrow as her accomplices shuddering stop in her tracks. So you'll help us, Hichan? I said I would, didn't I? It's hardly like I have anything better to do. Maybe helping them with their work will help take my mind off the situation. Misha seems genuinely ecstatic with my response, but Shizune's expression is clouded and difficult to read. I find myself quickly averting my eyes from her now own, as it almost looks like a face of pity. No doubt it must just be my imagination. This is hardly the first time I've been in the student council room. Indeed, I found myself down here often, either to help Lily with class rep work, or to sort out one thing or another with the student council itself. Now, though, it's quite a different place. Papers and folders are strewn across every table in the room, only a solitary little black laptop atop a single desk sticking out from the mess. It looks positively ancient, and I'd guess by the valiantly serving his tasks and archiving information for years and years. So, what needs doing? This looks like a lot to do. Shizune's expression becomes determined as she signs. It's a worrying look. Everything, Hichan. My worry was well placed. Everything, you say? What's left on the desks is what needs to be done. It all needs to be digitally recorded, which is what the laptop is for. And I'm guessing that I'll be the one doing this. Hichan says she saw you with computers in the library a few days ago and that you seemed really good with them. Good with computers? I can type, I guess, but it seems like an overestimation of my skill. I was just typing up homework. Wait, Shizune was watching me do that? One must know their allies before they know their enemies, of course. Wow, that was pretty wise. For once, it's not very hard to work out who said that, what. Nonetheless, it doesn't seem worth fighting over. Sitting at a computer doing some typing hardly seems onerous as far as tasks to help Shizune and Misha go. Besides, it'll help take your minds off things. Take my mind off things. Take my mind off what things? Misha's face goes blank as she translates this for Shizune. The latter's response is only to glance away towards the windows after briefly signing. Misha's face quickly returns to a smile as she translates back. She was confused, I guess, but Shizune is harder to pin down. I was just thinking that you may like to get your mind off of the exams, of course. That's probably not what it is. Oh, Sunny D is delicious. Last time I had Sunny D wasn't so good, but that's because, you know, stuff was added. Anyways. Either way, we may as well get into it sooner rather than later. I'll go along with you. That's the spirit, Hichan. And that's the 5th spreadsheet compiled and saved. I don't like Excel. No. That was like the least. I had a computers class, and that was the least I liked. And that's the 5th spreadsheet compiled and saved. Time for the next month's. After a little bit of fussing around, we all managed to get a bit more organized. Shizune's been gathering up loose sheets and thankfully sorting them into a neat pile next to me. Meanwhile, Misha's been handling the manual writing work, her girly pink pen leaving it unmistakably mark on paper after paper. Once I got myself into a rhythm, this really wasn't so bad. Shizune and Misha also seem to be in the swing of things, wordlessly communicating as they go about their business with fervor. I periodically glance at the sheets beside the laptop, apparently a list of student names and matching addresses, as I dutifully enter the data written on it. I don't pay a lot of attention to what I'm typing in until I reach about midway down the page. Hakamichi, class 3-3. Huh, her family is in Saitama. My idle curiosity... I'm trying to think who that is. I don't know their last names well. My idle curiosity is ended abruptly as 3 light taps can be heard rapping on the door. Misha quickly skips over to check who it is, tapping Shizune's shoulder on the way to pass to let her companion know what's happening. Ah, you're here. Who is it? With a slight pause to enter Shizune's data into the file along with the others, I look up to check who's at the door. It's gonna be Lily. Yep. Lily? After giving a cursory nod to Misha in greeting, she perks her head up in her trademark manner. Is that Hisao? She's pretty darn good at working out my voice from the smallest of phrases nowadays. Yeah, it's me. Hey. The atmosphere feels slightly awkward as she bows. Neither of us knows quite how intimate we should be around each other, given she's leaving in just a matter of hours. This is a fact that, thankfully, neither the oblivious Misha nor the hardworking Shizune pick up on. So, you've got work to do as well? Unfortunately, I arrived as soon as I could, but my class held me up with a surprise farewell party, and I had to get changed. I glanced down at the laptop's clock. It's pretty much the end of lunchtime, so I'm guessing Lily managed to wrangle the last period off as well. I take it Shizune is here as well? Of course. And I've been here during all of lunchtime as well. The last comment was really not needed. Shizune's baiting Lily into another argument. I can feel it. I'm sorry I can't be as hardworking as you, Shizune. I'll endeavor to hire more lackeys to do my work in the future, I assure you. And Lily just took the bait, but escalating things further. But aren't you the one always outsourcing works for your classmates? The difference is that they choose to help, unlike your tyrannical grip on your own class. Tyranny works. Even if we did things differently, we still got the same results, right? This is a school, not a police state. You will have to remind me when you were appointed class monarch, I'm afraid. You have to seize power. It's not as good as if it's just handed to you, but I guess you wouldn't really understand that, right? You'll have to remind me when monarchs were elected into their positions. Lily positively bristles at this. Shizune's two-hit combo forces her onto defense. Yet, for all your vaunted power, you cannot get one person to help you without forcing him. But Hisao volunteered. He's such a hard worker. He's doing this instead of meeting